Productivity experts will always tell you that you must eat the frog. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Meaning you should take your hardest task of the day and start with that before you do anything else. And in today's video, I will absolutely be eating that frog. Doesn't taste as bad as I thought it would. You know, the last time I actually attempted to do something like this, I had some problems and I actually got a little stuck. Now, I've tried to make a few process improvements that you'll notice as I attempt to do this today, but I'm worried that I might be facing some similar problems related to geometry. I forgot something.
Last night's eggs.
In case you guys are wondering why it seems like I have so many cameras going, when I'm doing certain things like moving chicken coops, when it'll probably only amount to about a minute of screen time, it's not so much about what I'm trying to capture, it's more about what might go wrong. And if something bad happens, at least if I have a lot of good angles, I can share it with you guys. Wish me luck, my friends. You know, when I came up with this plan to construct this sort of mobile chicken coop and have something that I could have move around all over the pasture in the summer and then have something I can keep in the hoop coop in the winter, like that was a plan that I thought very long and hard about, and that's how I ended up coming up with this guy. But the one dimension that I didn't really take into consideration with my planning is getting it sort of back and forth through the really tight angles and sort of less than ideal angles that I have with the gates that get in and out of the various pastures here on the farm.
Oh no. Jackknifed it, kinda.
Yeah, backing up with a farm trailer attached is not a farmer skill set I have unlocked yet,
But luckily, I have a backup plan.
because I knew I sucked at backing up. I genuinely hope my intuition was right and that was gonna be the hardest thing that I have to do today. Because if not, today is really going to suck. I mean, doing something like this mobile chicken coop was definitely something I've dreamed about since when I was living in Washington, DC. But there's dimensions that I've come to appreciate, particularly about my farm and how it's designed, as well as how the terrain works, that have me recognizing I need to keep adapting those plans. And so for folks who are dreaming of a farm one day and watching our videos, keep that in mind as you see even the things that I do and say, hey, I want to do exactly that. Because odds are exactly that might not make sense for you. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say that I am just painfully inept when it comes to driving a trailer and backing up a trailer. And by all means, that is 100% true. But in my defense, I actually had a problem happen here while moving it and trying to turn it, in that I accidentally broke the axle. So you can see when I pull the axle here to turn, that wheel on the left turns, but the wheel on the right does not now. And so something broke. And so part of my problem is it's a very complicated angle. Another part of my problem is I am not very good at driving a trailer, especially backing up a trailer. But then another part of the problem was just straight up mechanical failure. I might actually retire this for the winter and just keep the birds directly in the hoop coop and use that time to maybe do some repairs and upgrades and modifications to my mobile chicken coop, because at this point it needs it. You know, for the next week or so, it's gonna still be warm. I mean, like today, I think the high is supposed to be 70 again. By next week, things are gonna start to drop and cool off a little bit, and we might even get some snow. And so that's why I wanted to move these gals down here. I'm also gonna slowly start introducing some of my new birds to this new flock so that eventually they all become one big flock. And so I figured that was just gonna be easier to have down here. And so they'll spend probably, I don't know, the next week or so in here before I herd them into the hoop coop along with their neighbors. The ducks and geese are probably a little cranky right now because I haven't fed them yet, nor will I, because I still actually have to go back up top and finish my cattle chores because the cattle have to do a big move too. But we'll let these gals just get used to their new terrain. And I actually have to look for a GoPro because I lost my GoPro. It fell off the tractor while I was driving and it's somewhere in this sea of grass. And as I'm looking for my GoPro, I think I just found it right here. There we go. Eek. Chicken poop. Good morning, young chicken flock. So yeah, these are the chickens that I will eventually mix in with the chickens out there, and they'll eventually form one big cohesive flock. Hey, no, Toby dog. It's been a stressful morning already, but it's okay because I have you, and petting you is like the ultimate stress relief. But you know what is else a very good stress reliever? Weird chicken moment of zen. And now the only animal I have on the upper pasture are my cattle. Would you look at that sight? It just looks and feels so wonderful up here. You got the fog, you got the cattle, you got the sun just starting to peek up through the clouds and burn off the mist. I'm definitely gonna miss having mornings like this, that is for gosh darn sure. I mean, that's not to say I'm not gonna have great, beautiful mornings and there's some sort of magic with the quiet serenity of the snow. But this right here, right now, I just wanna step back and appreciate it because this is like one of the magic parts about farm life. How are you doing there, crew to moo? Are you ready to move today? So we're doing a big move with the cattle this morning. And actually big might be a little bit of an overstatement. This is the last time they're gonna be in this grazing cell. So yeah, they've pretty much mowed down this entire strip. And now I'm gonna put them down to this one. But this strip right here, it runs all the way down to the gate, which is over there that you saw me take the chicken coop through earlier. That means this is gonna be the last strip that they have to eat. My goal is to keep them up here as long as possible. And if I like really paced myself and went at my normal move speed for what they've been doing this summer, I don't know, I probably would have at least 2 weeks of grazing just with that whole strip. But I'm gonna probably guess that they're only up here for, I don't know, maybe a week or so before it gets too cold for me to run their water lines up to the top of the pasture and they have to move down below into the barn. And probably right around the time that I move them down to the barn, I'll separate out Joey Ramone as well as Macho Man. Much like I had it set up last winter, there's gonna be a boys section and a girls section over the winter so that I don't have any untimed breeding. Hey, Kels! Come on, Kels! Fresh grass, come on! Hey, Kels! Come on, let's go! Fresh grass, come on! There you go. Everybody move it. Good job, good job. Everybody's doing so well. Come on, baby bee, shake a leg. So we got kind of a reunion of sorts. You can see Joey Ramone is getting to say hello to his sisters. Hey, Bonnie, hey, Belinda. Actually, you can see Anne and Ariel, who are actually Belinda and Bonnie's mothers, respectively. Now, Macho Man, I don't want you getting any ideas and trying to jump that fence, okay? I know, those girls are appealing and they're unbred, but you're not allowed to jump. I will admit that that positioning makes me a little bit nervous and I might need to move those two. You might notice, too, some of my girls look a little bedraggled. Actually, the whole herd looks a little bedraggled. They got into a patch of burdock the other day, and so they're having to work their way out of it. That is one of the hazards of Highland cattle. I know, ducks and geese. I'm very late. I'm sorry. No, I'm so sorry. Hey, come on, guys. No reason to jump the line. Get back in there. Get back in there. I know. Ducks really hate it when you break their routine. They get very upset. I spilled a little grain back there where I left the camera, and they still seem to think everything's over there. Meanwhile, the grain with me. Let's see how long it takes them to catch up. Okay, hungry ducks, here you go. Frankie, you're gonna eat with the ducks? Okay, that's okay. I know some of you guys have been asking about Ralph the duck, so I figured I'd check in with him and see how he's doing. You can actually see most of our ducks are hanging out in the swales right now because they're still filled with water, and so it's like their favorite pond. Let's see if we can find Ralphie boy, huh? Oh, there he is. Hey Ralph, how's it going? Enjoying a little swim in the morning after eating some grain? So Ralph has settled in really well with the flock. Nobody bullies him, nobody picks on him. He found his way into the flock and he's got a good position in the flock. He actually seems genuinely happy, doesn't he, Abby? And so the story of Ralph the duck seems like it's definitely a happy one. By the way, would you guys look at some of these trees? Like, look at these two black locust trees. This one right here is, I don't know, probably 20, maybe 25 feet at this point. This one's, I don't know, probably somewhere between 15 and 20. Very big trees. I got a lot of trees that are growing big. You know, some of the folks who came to the farm to pick up geese, this wasn't their first time, like they're repeat customers. And one of the biggest comments I felt like I heard this year more than ever before is just how much people feel like the trees have grown. It's actually really exciting because, you know, those were things that I planted back in 2017. And just to finally see them getting fully established, it's very satisfying. Isn't that right, Duckery Doos? Actually, Greta, that duck right there, she's been with me since 2018. So she's been around here about as long as my trees. I think I have like 3 other khaki Campbells from my original flock back in 2018. Basically behind Lil Barn Cat and Pablo Barn Cat, they are the longest standing animals here on the farm. Who's that clomping around over there? Abby dog, what are you doing? And I wonder why you're always covered in mud. Jeez Louise, girl. But yeah, you can see Ralph is kind of always the last man in the line, and it's kind of enjoyable to watch. I'm a bad farmer because I forgot to pour my chickens water earlier. I know, I forgot your water. Here you go. Enjoy.